a sound or you'll wake them in the deepest part of the ancient forest. The flickering candlelight illuminates the faded pages of a story. Hedgehog still sits and tells the stories that people dare not tell before.
The girl who sewed her name from Starlight and Shadow.
Chapter 1, The Tinker of the Map of Mending. A decade passed. The kingdom moved in a hushed rhythm around its hollow heart. Then, one autumn evening, a woman arrived at the castle gate. She was not a mage, nor a witch, but a tinker. Her name was Anew, and her cart was a marvel of clinking glass vials, spools of strange threads, and curious, polished tools. She wore a cloak patched with 100 different fabrics, and her eyes held the sharp, assessing glint of a master craftswoman.
I cannot heal a broken soul, she told the desperate king and queen, but I can offer a remembering. She led him to the silent princess. Anew did not try to speak to her. Instead, she took a pair of silver shears from her belt and, with the king's horrified but resigned permission, snipped a single lock of Lyra's hair. She held it up to the firelight. It was not the color of wheat or gold, but the dull gray of ash. You see? Anew said softly. The material of her is depleted. The stories that made her are gone. But stories can be rewoven. She opened a lacquered box, revealing not jewels, but what appeared to be empty spools. This is the loom of echoes. And these, she gestured to the spools, are threads of being. We will not find her old self, for it is dust. We will weave her a new one.
The queen wept, a new one, but will she be our Lyra?
She will be a princess made of the choices we make for her, Anew replied, her voice pragmatic. She will be a tapestry of the finest memories and traits we can provide. It is a chance to create a perfect daughter. Flawless, unburdened by sorrow or flaw.
Desperate, they agreed.
Chapter 2, The Weaving of a Perfect Princess. The work began in a high tower room. Anew's loom was a complex structure of silver and obsidian. The threads of being were not mere cotton or silk, they were metaphysical materials, harvested from moments and emotions. The king provided the first thread, a strand of royal dignity, spun from the memory of his own coronation, a heavy, gold thread that shimmered with authority. The queen offered a thread of compassionate heart, drawn from the moment she first held Lyra, a soft, rose-pink filament that pulsed with a gentle warmth. The royal cartographer donated a thread of keen intellect, a sharp, silver-blue strand from the time he solved a great mystery of the stars. The head gardener gave a thread of serene patience, a deep green thread smelling of damp earth and growing things. Anew, the master weaver, took these threads and began. She did not use a shuttle. Her own hands, swift and sure, became the instruments. She would hold a thread, concentrate, and it would leap from her fingers, weaving itself into the growing tapestry on the loom. The tapestry was not of a scene, but of a face, a form, the form of Princess Lyra. As each thread was woven, a change occurred in the real Lyra. When the thread of royal dignity was set, the girl's posture straightened, her chin lifting with an innate grace. When compassionate heart was integrated, a faint, gentle smile touched her lips for the first time in 10 years. She began to speak in a soft, melodious voice. She could discuss philosophy with the cartographer and botany with the gardener. The court was ecstatic. Their princess was not just returned, she was improved. She was perfect. She was everything a royal heir should be. But Anew watched, her sharp eyes missing nothing. The princess's movements, while graceful, were a little too precise. Her compassion felt practiced, like a well-rehearsed play. Her voice, though beautiful, had the cadence of a recited poem. She was a masterpiece of curation, but she lacked the messy, unpredictable spark of a true self. Chapter 3, The Flaw in the Tapestry. The newly woven Lyra was a triumph. She presided over court functions with a calm elegance that belied her years. She was beloved by the people, who saw in her the ideal ruler. King Theron and Queen Isolde were, for the most part, overjoyed. Yet, in the quiet moments, a disquiet would stir in the queen's heart. Theron, she whispered one night, she called me, Mother, today. It was perfect. But it did not feel like my Lyra. It felt like she was performing the role of a daughter. The king sighed. Is it so wrong? We have a daughter who is wise, kind, and beautiful. We gave her the best of us. Should we mourn the tempests and imperfections that are absent? The queen had no answer, but Anew did. She found the queen in the royal gardens, watching the perfect princess perfectly arrange a bouquet of flawless white lilies. She is stable, Anew said, joining her. The tapestry is strong, but it is static. A true soul is not a finished painting. It is a river, always changing, eroding its banks, carving new paths. We have given her a map, but she does not wander from it. What is missing? The queen asked, her voice thick with a mother's intuition. A flaw, Anew said bluntly. A contradiction. A thread of something, dark. Something that is hers alone. You cannot have light without shadow. You have woven a creature of pure, curated light. She has no shadow, and thus, no depth. It was then that a commotion broke out. A young scullery maid, fleeing the castle guards, had stumbled into the garden, her face streaked with tears and soot. She had been accused of stealing a loaf of bread. The perfect princess looked at the terrified girl, her face a mask of serene pity. "Do not fear," the princess said, her voice like a gentle chime. "Your transgression will be forgiven. Justice, tempered with mercy, shall be your portion." It was the correct, compassionate response, woven directly from the threads they had given her.
But as she spoke, her eyes met the maid's, and for a fraction of a second, there was nothing in them. No true understanding of the girl's terror, no spark of shared humanity, only the hollow echo of a programmed virtue. The princess was performing compassion, not feeling it.
The queen saw it, and her heart broke anew. Chapter 4, The Secret Threads. That night, the queen went to Anya's tower. "You spoke of a shadow," she said, her resolve firm. "Weave it." Anya shook her head. "I cannot. The threads I used were given willingly. A shadow cannot be donated, it must be taken, or it must be born of her. And she has no, her, from which to draw it. But there must be a way," the queen insisted. "I would rather have a daughter with a temper, a daughter who is sometimes selfish or sad, than this beautiful echo." Anya studied the queen for a long moment. "There are other threads," she conceded, her voice dropping. "Threads I do not use in polite craft. They are wild, unpredictable. They are the starlight of longing and the shadow of rebellion. They are not memories, but potentials. They are the capacity for desire that defies reason, and the spark to act upon it. But if I weave them in, I cannot control what they will touch. They might unravel the entire tapestry. They might create a monster.
Or they might create a woman," the queen countered. "Do it."
But before Anya could act, the princess herself entered the tower. She moved with her usual silent grace, but her eyes were fixed on the loom of echoes, on the shimmering, perfect tapestry that was her metaphysical self. "I heard you," the woven princess said, her voice still calm, but now with a new, unsettling undertone. "I am an echo, a beautiful echo." She looked at her own hands as if seeing them for the first time. "I have always felt there was a pane of glass between me and the world. I speak the words, but I do not taste them. I feel the prescribed emotion, but it does not warm me." She stepped towards the loom. "You wish to give me a shadow? Do not weave it for me." She reached out, not for a pre-spun thread, but for the raw materials on Anya's cart, a shard of captured starlight that pulsed with a desperate, lonely light, and a wisp of living darkness that seemed to drink the very air around it. "Let me weave it myself." Chapter 5, The Unraveling and the Reweaving. Anya and the queen watched, frozen, as the princess took the raw, volatile materials. She did not know the craft, but her fingers, guided by some deep, nascent instinct, moved. She did not approach the main tapestry. Instead, she began to work on a small, separate patch, a secret pocket of a soul. She wove the starlight of longing. And as she did, she spoke, her voice losing its practiced cadence, becoming raw and real. "I long for something that is mine. Not a memory you gave me. Not a virtue you chose. I want to desire something, messy, and warm, and imperfect." She then took the shadow of rebellion and began to intertwine it with the starlight. "And I am tired of being perfect. I am tired of being peaceful. I want to feel anger. I want to be able to say, no." As the final, dark thread was knotted into place, the effect was instantaneous and catastrophic. The main, perfect tapestry on the loom of echoes shuddered. The golden thread of royal dignity frayed at the edges. The rose-pink thread of compassionate heart twisted, showing a core of deep, bruised purple. The potential for possessiveness and jealousy. The silver-blue thread of keen intellect sharpened into a needle-like point of sarcasm and cunning. The princess cried out, clutching her head. The serene mask shattered. A storm of conflicting emotions crossed her face, real, untempered, and powerful. Rage, confusion, a wild and desperate joy, profound sorrow. She was feeling, truly feeling, for the first time since she was a child, and it was agony and ecstasy. She was unraveling. "Lyra!" the queen cried, rushing forward, but Anya held her back. "Wait," the tinker commanded. "This is the making or the breaking. She must choose the threads herself now." Through the tempest in her mind, the princess looked at the loom. She saw the fraying, beautiful, false tapestry of the perfect princess, and she saw the small, dark, vibrant patch she had just woven, her first true, authentic creation. It was flawed, chaotic, and alive.
With a scream that was part grief and part liberation, she tore the perfect tapestry from the loom. It dissolved into a shower of glittering, meaningless dust. The foundational threads given by her parents and courtiers, the dignity, the prescribed compassion, the serene patience, evaporated, their energy returning to the donors.
The king, in his chambers, suddenly felt a weight of responsibility lift, replaced by a fleeting sense of lightness. The cartographer felt a sudden, shocking moment of dullness, as if a favorite theory had slipped his mind.
The princess collapsed. She was no longer perfect. She was pale, trembling, and hollowed out once more. But this emptiness was different. Before, it was the emptiness of a vacant room. Now, it was the emptiness of a room after a great storm has passed, cleansed, charged, and ready to be filled anew.
In her hand, she clutched the only thing that remained, the small, rough patch she had woven from starlight and shadow. Chapter 6. The Girl with a Name of Her Own. Days passed. The princess slept, while the kingdom held its breath. The grey silence had returned, but it felt different. It was a silence of recovery, not of absence. When she finally awoke, her eyes were not the still pools of before, nor the perfectly calm mirrors of her woven self. They were the eyes of a young woman, tired, uncertain, but present. The first thing she did was look at the queen, who had not left her bedside. "Mother," she said, and the word was clumsy, hesitant, but it was filled with a searching, genuine emotion. It was a question, not a statement. The queen wept, but this time with a joy so profound it was indistinguishable from pain. "Yes, my darling. I am here." The princess's recovery was slow. She had to learn everything again, but this time, the choices were her own. She decided she hated the taste of peas. She loved the reckless, loud music of the minstrels in the lower town. She had a quick temper that flared and subsided. She was sometimes wonderfully kind, and at other times, frustratingly selfish. She was not a perfect princess. She was a person. She kept the patch of starlight and shadow, sewing it into the lining of her dress, a secret reminder of the day she chose a messy, real self over a beautiful, perfect fiction. She had torn down the tapestry others had woven for her and had begun the slow, lifelong work of weaving her own. She had forgotten herself once. Now, she would spend every day remembering, and creating, who she was. And the kingdom of Lethes, once a place of serene silence, learned to live with the beautiful, unpredictable, and occasionally disruptive music of a soul that was truly, wholly, and imperfectly its own. A whisper to Chu Ye. Answer: Dear Chu Ye, you see the path is never simple. The first tale was about using pain as a weapon, a forward march that led to a cold and lonely pinnacle. This second tale is about the very nature of the self we build after a fall. The world, be it a kingdom, a family, or an ex-lover, will always try to weave you into a tapestry that suits them. They will offer you threads of what you should be: stronger, colder, more successful, more palatable. A perfect version of your post-heartbreak self. But true healing is not about assembling a flawless new identity from the broken pieces. It is not about building a fortress so strong nothing can ever hurt you again. That fortress will also become your prison, keeping out joy as effectively as it keeps out pain.
The real courage, the true, moving forward, lies in having the strength to tear down that prescribed perfection. It lies in embracing the messy, contradictory, and gloriously imperfect process of weaving your own self. It means picking up the wild, unpredictable threads of your own longing, the starlight, and your own righteous anger and boundaries, the shadow, and saying, "This is mine. This is me." It may not be perfect, but it is real.
Let them have their perfect princesses. You be the queen of your own chaotic, beautiful, and authentic realm. Keep sewing your name from your own starlight and shadow. That is the only way to truly, deeply, and unshakably belong to yourself.
If you feel a chill down your spine, don't worry. They're just standing behind you, listening with you. Thank you for daring to enter the world of fairy tales of Nim. We'll see you again next night, if you're still around.